Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you my to-be read pile for December and January. You guys, I can't believe we're at the end of the year, going into another year. It's kind of insane. There's a part of me that I feel like I didn't really accomplish kind of my reading goals for this year. I kind of had some reading goals that I don't know, there was just certain things I wanted to get done with this year. I wanted to read a lot more series. I have so many series that I've either started or that I've been wanting to get to, and that I think I only got around to a couple series this year. I only got a couple, and yeah, my goal was to do like a series every TBR, and I don't think I accomplished that at all. So I'm hoping next year I can really kind of focus on that, because yeah, I have so many books and series that I need to get through, and they're just all kind of playing around. But yeah, as far as my TBR went for October and November, very successful. If you watch that video, you might recall that I was a little concerned that I might not get everything done, because I felt like I was a little, I don't know, extreme, like overconfident, I should say, like, oh, I can get all these books done. But somehow I did. Somehow I got all those books done. I'm very happy. A lot of it I really enjoyed. A couple hits and misses in there, but yeah, for the most part, a really successful TBR. I'm definitely glad to get going into this TBR for the next 2 months. My goal for these next 2 months, as you'll see, because it's December and January, it's holiday season, plus where I work, my work schedule is getting pretty crazy. I'm going to have more hours of work, so yeah, less time for me to kind of do things. And yeah, I want to have a couple months of reading that's, you know, kind of easy on me, you know what I mean? Just kind of easy and relaxing, kind of no hassle. So what I've decided to do for these next 2 months, I want to primarily read a bunch of graphic novels, essentially. I have so many graphic novels that have kind of just been laying around, and so I figured, you know what, these next 2 months would be a good time to kind of binge through all these graphic novels and get them out of my TBR pile, essentially. So, yeah, what I'm going to share with you guys is mostly all graphic novels, but I do have a few scatterings of some other books that I'm going to throw in there to kind of, you know, keep me going, because I was sitting there thinking, you know, I can't just sit and read graphic novels. That might feel a little tedious and monotonous after a while. So I figured in between batches of graphic novels, what I'll do, I'll throw in another book and kind of break up that tediousness, I suppose. But yeah, let's start with all of the graphic novels that I plan on reading. Up first is Vikings, Godhead, and this is based off of the History Channel TV series Vikings, if you can't already tell. I'm a huge fan of this television series, and yeah, I didn't really know that there were some comics for it until I kind of stumbled across this. And yeah, this is the first issue. I know there's a second issue, but I don't know if there's any more after that, so I'm kind of hoping I can get around to the second issue at some point. But yeah, here's the first issue, and whoa, this is a scandalous looking cover. I'm not sure if I'm even allowed to show this on YouTube, you guys. It's practically pornographic almost, but yeah, I'm distracted. But yeah, this is, what is this called? This is called Original Sin, Thor and Loki, the 10th Realm, and this is a Marvel comic focusing on Thor and Loki and their mysterious sister that kind of just pops up, something like that. That's kind of my essential understanding of what this is about. And I hope I can read this without some prior knowledge of some other comics, because the back of this book says something about, thanks to the events of Original Sin, the deepest secret of the 9 realms has been revealed, namely the existence of a 10th realm. So it sounds like something has happened in a previous comic, so I'm hoping I can read this without being too terribly confused. I guess we'll see, but yeah, it's Thor and Loki. I freaking love Thor and Loki, you guys, so that's kind of why I picked this up more than anything. Next is Hawkeye, Volume 3, L.A. Woman. I have previously read the first 2 issues of this Hawkeye series. I finally stumbled across this 3rd issue. I really enjoyed this series so far. I really enjoyed it. You know, Hawkeye's kind of one of those characters, he's kind of pushed to the background, you know, in the Marvel movies. And yeah, I really like Hawkeye in this series, and just his personality and his sense of humor. Next, I have a 3-part series in the world of Avatar, The Last Airbender. And there's 3 issues here. Like I said, we have part 1, if I can hold it up and not get a glare on there. And then we got part 2. And then part 3. And yeah, what the first issue says, let me just read back here. It says, the war is over, but the adventure has just begun. And it says, picking up exactly where Avatar The Last Airbender left off, the promise takes Aang to a Fire Nation colony in the heart of the Earth Nation, where tensions between neighbors threaten to shatter the world's newfound peace, putting the Avatar on a collision course with one of his closest friends, Fire Lord Zuko. So yeah, I'm definitely very excited to get to this little trilogy of books. I have previously read another Avatar The Last Airbender trilogy called The Search, and that was really, really good. I love this cartoon series. You guys, it's probably easily one of my favorite cartoon series. Just the world building and the characters, just everything about it is stunning and perfect. Yeah, and I always want more of this world, you know. So yeah, what a great way to continue to be in this world by experiencing it through comic format. Next is a duology of books taking place in the Star Wars universe, and this is Kanan. My sister, she has it wrapped up. This is her books, actually. She has it wrapped up in a little plastic thing, so I'm not going to unwrap it right now until I actually get to it. But yeah, this is 2 books focused on the character of Kanan. And yeah, he's primarily in the Disney cartoon series Rebels. I don't know how many of you guys happen to watch that cartoon series. Rebels, you guys may think, oh, it's a Star Wars Disney kiddie show, that it's just for kids, but I tell you, it's not just for kids. It's a very mature cartoon show that has some kiddie elements in it occasionally, but more than anything, it is very, very mature and very dark at times. And yeah, the character of Kanan, he's probably one of my favorite characters on that TV series, the cartoon series. And yeah, Kanan, he's supposed to be kind of one of the last living Jedi, because if you've seen the movies, you know, the Jedi were kind of exiled, essentially, and were kind of forced to go on the run, and a lot of them were executed and murdered and whatnot. So yeah, Kanan's kind of one of the few that managed to escape, you know, Darth Vader's wrath or whatever. So yeah, I can't wait to get to this. Like I said, Kanan, I love him. I need more. Next, I have a series of 5 books that come from the Resident Evil fandom. If you don't know anything about Resident Evil is a video game series, one of my favorite video game series, and they take place primarily in this like small random town called Raccoon City, and a zombie outbreak has occurred, and there's like this big cover-up from this corporation known as Umbrella and their experimentations and whatnot, and that's why there's a zombie outbreak in this town. And yeah, eventually over the course of the video game series, it gets away from Raccoon City and the outskirts of Raccoon City. It starts kind of venturing more globally because this company, the Umbrella Corporation, their reach has kind of extended further and further out. So yeah, I love that video game series, and this is just some little graphic novel or manga. I think these are more manga than graphic novels. That are companion pieces, and I honestly don't know what these are about. Me and my sister just kind of picked them up because of the Resident Evil title on them. We really have no further information about them, so I guess I'll find out about them. But yeah, just to kind of show you guys the covers really quickly. Oh, I have them all backwards. Here, I'll just start from 5. I'll just go backwards. Mangas, they're all weird looking. But yeah, let's see. We have, hold on. I'm getting really lost, you guys. Here, okay, let's flip it this way. Okay, I have them straight now. They're in order now. Okay, we have the first issue here. Then the second one. Third one. Ooh, is that Chris? I love Chris. Then we got this one. And then this one. Is that Claire? I think that's Claire. Maybe? No? I don't know who that is. I can't tell. I'm not sure who half these characters are, you guys, but I guess I'll find out as I read. I got another Star Wars related book here, you guys, and this is Chewie and the Porgs. I don't know why I'm embarrassed. Me and my sister saw this. We were like, oh my god, it's Chewbacca and the porgs. We love porgs. We're one of those weirdos, you guys. And this is just really a little children's book. That's all it is. Look how tiny it is. It's just maybe a dozen pages or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's meant for children. It's a little picture book. But yeah, it's about Chewie and the porgs. How adorable. This will definitely just take me one sitting to get through. Next up, I have this duology that is a mashup with Marvel and Disney. And this is Figments, based off of the Figment ride at Disney's Epcot Center. That whole thing. I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with Figment. Figment is he's this purple dragon. He's essentially kind of created from pure imagination, I suppose. And yeah, this little duology of graphic novels, kind of like an origin story for Figment, I suppose, and his relationship with the guy known as the Dream Finder, how he kind of comes into being and whatnot. So yeah, I have previously read this first book, and I really enjoyed it. It was just so cute and so sweet. And yeah, I've managed to get a copy of the second issue, or the second volume, so I'm going to reread this first book, because I can't really remember too much of what happens in it, so I'm going to reread this in preparation for this book, and can't wait. And then the last big graphic novel that I want to tackle is Alex and Ada. And this is by, let me look, Jonathan Luna and Sarah Vaughn. And this is the complete collection, you guys. And you're not going to believe this. I actually won this on Goodreads, through the Goodreads giveaway. I won this. I was so freaking excited. Because yeah, for starters, it's the whole collection. And yeah, the price. This is actually something that's $50. This is $50. I didn't have to spend my own money. So I was absolutely thrilled, beyond belief, when I got the email from Goodreads saying, hey, you're a giveaway winner. So I'm ecstatic to get to this. I hope it's good. Yeah, let me kind of just read what this is about, because I'm not entirely sure. I know it's about like a guy and an android of some sort. So yeah, the premise of this: the last thing in the world Alex wanted was an X5. I guess an X5 is some sort of design, you know, whatever these robots are, I guess. The last thing he wanted was an X5, the latest in realistic androids. But after Ada is unexpectedly thrust into his life, he discovers she is more than just a robot. Despite laws against and fear of sentient artificial intelligence, Alex takes a huge risk to unlock Ada so she can think for herself and explore life. But can they survive the consequences? So this sounds really good, you guys. The artwork, I'm not sure how I feel about the artwork, because there's something about it that's very kind of simplistic. But I mean, I guess when I review this, I'll talk about it more, you know. Oh man, it smells. Man, this has like a strong smell of some sort. I can't place it. Like freshness, like, you know, like fresh print. But yeah, I definitely am very excited to get to this, you guys. It is huge. This is probably, out of all the graphic novels I have, this is going to take me the most amount of time, because it's close to 400 pages, but that's okay. So, like I said, I have all those graphic novels, but in between chunks of it, I'm going to throw in a couple other books. So, the books that I'm going to randomly throw in there, I have The Lifeboat by Charlotte Rogan. And this book, I'm just reading some of it to you, it takes place during the summer of 1914. And it follows this 22-year-old lady named Grace Winter. She's a newlywed, but also a widow. Something has happened in her life, you guys. So yeah, during the summer of 1914, the elegant ocean liner carrying Grace and her husband Henry across the Atlantic suffers a mysterious explosion. Setting aside his own safety, Henry secures Grace a seat in a lifeboat, which its occupants quickly realize has exceeded capacity. For any to live, some must die. As the castaways battle the elements and one another, Grace recollects the unorthodox way she and Henry met, and considers the new life of privilege she thought she'd found. Will she pay any price to keep it? The Lifeboat is a page-turning novel about hard choices and survival, narrated by a woman as unforgettable and complex as the events she describes. This sounds awesome, you guys. It's like this mix between Titanic and Life of Pi. Yeah, because she's on an ocean liner, it crashes, but then it sounds like their lifeboat is stuck at sea for some unquestionable amount of time. So yeah, that's kind of the Life of Pi elements I'm getting. I definitely can't wait to get to this, because it definitely sounds a bit like a psychological thriller almost. You know, like these people are, they're wealthy and privileged people. They were on this great ocean. They're stuck on this lifeboat. They gotta battle against themselves and the elements. People are gonna die. It sounds really awesome. You guys, this is definitely something for me. I also want to get to The Fall by Bethany Griffin, and this is a Edgar Allan Poe retelling based off of the House of the Fall of Usher. The Fall of the House of Usher is one of my favorite Edgar Allan Poe short stories. I freaking love that story. It just has all the right chills and horror aspects and whatnot. And yeah, I've been wanting to get around to this for the longest of times, yeah, guys. So yeah, this is like I said, a retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher, and this is told from the point of view of Madeline Usher, who is the sister of the really eccentric, crazy Roderick Usher. So I hope I enjoy this. It is young adult, but I think I will still enjoy it. I also want to manage to try and tackle North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, guys. I don't know if this is a good idea for me to sit and read here in December and January. Like I said, I kind of wanted to create a TBR with the intention of having, you know, just smooth, easy reading. But at the same time, I have a lot of classics I need to get to, and I wanted to try to throw in a classic in here. So I hope that's not a bad idea. North and South, this might be the very last book I read for my TBR, to be quite honest. That way it'll be the last thing I read in January, I guess. Yeah, what is North and South about again? You know, I can't remember what North and South is about. I watched the miniseries that had Richard Armitage in it, that was like released like in the early 2000s, I want to say. I watched that miniseries and I really enjoyed it, but I can't remember too much of what it was about. Because it was about a guy who was like the owner of like a mill of some sorts, and then like a girl who kind of comes from the middle class, but her family is struggling with wealth and whatnot, and the two of them kind of meeting. I don't know, it was like a power struggle thing, like like the miniseries was about like the wealthy class versus like the middle and the poor classes, and you know, kind of a commentary on that. I think that's what it's about. Am I remembering correctly? If you've read North and South, do I have that correctly? I can't quite remember, but I love that miniseries, you guys. I love that miniseries. And yeah, this edition, yeah, not the nicest of editions, and yeah, oh my god, the writing. Let me show you guys the writing. Can you see the writing? Look how tiny. Oh my god. I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm going to try though. I'm going to try to get through this because I need to read a classic. But yeah. Hopefully this goes well, you guys. And then yeah, the last book I have here is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And this is book 1 in this particular series. You know, I've been meaning to collect all the other books because I kind of wanted to binge my way through the series. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? I need to maybe read this first book, see if I even like it. You know, see if I like this first book, and if I like it, then I'll continue with the series. So, yeah, what is The Bone Season about? I know a lot of people like this series. Let's see, it takes place in the year 2059. You know, I didn't realize it took place in the future, but it's the near future, though. It says, Paige Mahoney is working in the criminal underworld of London. Her job to scout for information by breaking into people's minds. Ooh. For Paige is a dreamwalker, a rare kind of clairvoyant, and under Scion law, she commits treason simply by breathing. Is there anything else I need to know? I think that's all I'll read for right now. That sounds intriguing enough. So it takes place in the so here's what I've gathered. It takes place sometime in the near future in London with some supernatural elements. You know, it's making me think of the Discovery of Witches series by Deborah Harkness. I've not read that series yet, but I've seen the TV series, and it's kind of making me sort of think of something like that almost. I guess I'll find out. Yeah, I can't wait to get to this first book and see how I like it, because I would like to try to read all the other books if possible. I know this is supposed to be a pretty long series, like 7, 8, 9 books, something like that. And yeah, I think it's only made its way through 4 books, something like that. So you guys, that is it for my crazy TBR. I think that's 21 books. It's 21 books. You guys may be thinking, oh dear God, she's not going to finish all that in 2 months. The thing is though, like I said, a lot of these graphic novels, a lot of them are so short that I'll finish them in a day. So that's why I have, like other books, you know, just normal books. I have some normal books kind of just to throw in there to kind of break up that monotony of the comic books, I suppose. So yeah, I was calculating all this, you guys. I did all the math to make sure I could finish all this, and I will literally finish every bit of this up in 2 months. So yeah, I'm not insane. I can do it. I believe I can. So yeah, you guys, in the comments below, any of these books that you want to read, plan on reading, have you read them? Just let me know your thoughts down below. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.